Now, this gentleman has done it all. He's been playing football. He's been a leader in his footy days. He's played for the Blues. I've got to say the Blues because we're a Queenslander up here. But he has been iconic in the NRL for many, many years. And we're talking about Andrew E.T. Ettingshausen, who joins us now live online. Good morning to you, buddy. How are you?
G'day. Very good. Very good.
Good, mate. Good to have your company. Mate, you and I talk a lot on stages and off stages. We've both got very familiar interests when it comes to fishing. But, mate, you started out fishing at a younger age. A lot of people may not know this about you, and I wanted to share your story on our show. So I really appreciate you coming online and talking to us. Mate, your passion of fishing started before the passion of football. How old were you when you got into fishing?
Yeah, I was very fortunate, Bertie. I had my grandparents lived up on the central coast of New South Wales, and so every school holidays I went up there because they had this beautiful tidal waterfront, and you drag the tinny across the flats with your cousins and friends, and we used to have a ball catching prawns and crabs and all sort of species of fish. So from a young age, around probably 4, I used to go up with my grandfather, and he'd show me how to catch whiting. And also mullet and garfish were really big fish. You'd have your little float going out there, and it'd bob under, and you'd hook up a nice little gar or a mullet. So back in the days, that was a hell of a lot of fun, and I just got hooked from a young age.
And this is the important thing for kids, because even though, like, you and I are in our, are we in our 40s or 50s now? I can't remember, mate. But anyway, regardless, is that, even at our age now, I still get a kick out of catching things like whiting and garfish and things like that. Do you?
Yeah, 100%. Just recently, I'm sort of just about to start filming in a couple of weeks' time, and I'll head up your way up to beautiful Queensland and chase a few of your fish up there. But the last couple of weeks, I've been home just catching flathead, and some whiting have turned up, which is good. Just the basic estuary fish that I guess everybody can catch, and it's so much fun. I still get a buzz getting up on the flats and pumping a few yabbies and, slowly letting them drift down in amongst a bit of a burley trail and all that sort of stuff. I still get very, very pumped. And these days I'm actually a grandfather, so I actually get the chance to take my 2 grandsons out fishing as well, and they love it. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mate, it's how important is it for kids to get involved in fishing these days? And we do see, since the Rex Hunt days, and I know you've known Rexy for a long, long time there through Shimano and through obviously just off-field. But, mate, he really introduced a lot of like the kiss and throw back, the catch and release. And that's morphed into your show of Escape with ET and our program Step Outside. It's something there that is synonymous these days, where a lot of the younger generation are more into sport fishing. I mean, how important is that into our recreational sport?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think for many years, fishing was something a lot of the kids didn't get into, but now it seems to be a bit of a passion. And I guess with the age of all the social media these days, and guys can get out there and they can be with their friends and catching fish of all different sizes. It can be in canoes or on the wharf or wherever. I think it's really had a big comeback, and I think fishing for kids is certainly a great thing that's happening these days. More and more kids are getting out together and getting outdoors. Staying off the computers and keeping away from all those Game Boys and all the various games that they've got to play online these days. So much better for them if they are getting out on the water. So I'm sure a lot of parents are trying to encourage more of that.
Eta, you're massive in football. Wherever you go, you draw a crowd. The 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s, etc. Mate, you played iconic football. Mate, during the time when you were playing footy, did you do much fishing at the same time, or was it just sort of head down, bum up, and get involved into being the flying winger as you were?
Yeah, well, I guess in amongst all the footy I played over those years, the fishing was sort of the thing that I actually always fell back on. So, we'd have Wednesday off training. That was the only day, and all of Wednesday, didn't matter rain, hail or shine, I was out there battling the elements to catch a fish, and it was great fun. And I had a great group of mates who, at the end of every footy season, we'd pretty much go on a really cool trip. It might be to Papua New Guinea or up to the Kimberley. Anywhere across the top end was always a fantastic getaway for me. And so that was sort of my break at the end of the year. I used to have a fantastic holiday with some mates away. And, we fished to our heart's content in some of the best places around.
Mate, you're a Hall of Famer. You're an awesome bloke, and you love your fishing. And some of the stories that you've told me, where you head up to the Kimberleys and these areas, in the most remotest places of Australia. Do you ever get a little bit sort of scared, a bit apprehensive, thinking, "Oh, geez, I'm a little bit," because there's crocodiles up there. Generally, you don't see these things, but there are lots of other beasts and critters up there at the same time that you've got to be wary of that sit under the water, isn't there? That eat your fish.
Yeah, that's right. It's a funny one. I ask my wife these days. We might get a trip to the Kimberley. Somebody wants me to go up and do some filming at their lodge, and the first thing my wife says is, "It got a pool," because there's every creepy crawly out in the ocean. You got sharks and sea snakes, and you got obviously all the different jellyfish that can sting you. So there's crocodiles are probably the last of your thoughts up there, but there's 70,000 of them across the top of Australia. So there's a lot of crocodiles. They see you. You don't probably see them often.
No, they're always.
It is scary sometimes, but there's no doubt about that. A couple of times at night, I've had to actually push a tinny. One time sort of going into a creek, so we'd run aground and we had to push into that deeper water, and it was spooky. Big moon on the night. I was just waiting to get eaten at any second. The water was only up to sort of my ankles, but I was just imagining a big croc laying there. And, that happened a couple of times, which was probably the scariest moments. Generally, I stay clear of getting in the water in those tropical areas.
You're not wrong. When you're talking about crocodiles up there, they are a familiar sight, but they can also be an unfamiliar sight at the same time. You think they're everywhere, but they're generally under the water. But, mate, groper is another, fish that comes up and smashes your fish at the same time, aren't they? Because there's a lot of monstrous creatures up there that just become gargantuans over years. Tell me about the story there of that ginormous fish.
Yeah. I've had some great times up there, and as you say, those big groper. Normally, if you park up in a river, a couple of big groper will just sit under the back of your boat. I think they're pretty used to humans these days. They know that humans add up to a nice easy feed. So I've had big barramundi absolutely snatched from my reach with a massive big 400 or 500 pound groper just demolishing it right in front of me. I've seen loads and loads of big groper over the years, but to tell you the truth, a lot of them look bigger than the crocodiles. So it's pretty nerve-wracking when you're trying to even jump off your boat onto shore. But there's lots of big creatures out there, which makes it exciting, doesn't it?
It certainly does, mate. What season are you up to now on Escape?
This is our 27th season, so 27 years. I started the show in 2000, and actually it was Rex Hunt. You mentioned him earlier. Yes. Old Rexy took myself and Tony Lockett up to the Northern Territory and for a bit of a fish in our off-season. Tony Lockett was a big AFL player, and we had an absolute ball up there and floating around the pool. Rexy said, "Well, ET, how do you like my office?" And I said, "Wow, this is what I want to do when I finish footy." 27 years later, we're still going.
Mate, it's incredible to have that amount of years up under your belt there, of course. What's one of your favourite moments there about Rex? Can I ask that question?
Oh, Rexy's just a real character, I just, I love the way that, he presented the show. He was a bit of a talking head, He basically, sometimes he didn't catch too much, but he just talked his way all the way through it, and it was always entertaining. He had a whole string of words that he'd come up with, yibbity yibbiter and all these sorts of things. So he was a real character, and kissing those fish and releasing them, I think, giving them a kiss, you had to be careful because you'd pick up a leather jacket or something like that, and you definitely didn't want to kiss it on the lips, so you might lose your lips. So, he was a real character, and he pretty much started all the fishing on television. There wasn't really much at all on television that way prior to him. So, at one stage I was on Channel 9 at 5 o'clock. He was on Channel 7 at 9 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, and he'd ring me up afterwards and say, "Oh, I loved your show, ET," and I'm kind of going, "What?" But he was, he was always a very good guy to me. So really appreciate it.
You and I have both been in the Shimano stable for decades now, to be honest with you. And mate, I remember one stage there, John Dunphy, everyone else who's listening now, he was the god of Shimano Australia. He was the man who brought Shimano to this magnificent country of ours and to where it is today. And we lost John there quite a few years ago now. But I recall one situation there, Andrew, is that I was in JD's office. And do you recall those beautiful wooden chairs that they must have cost thousands of dollars per chair? They were sort of moulded out of one type of bit of timber. Do you recall those things go back 20 years ago?
Yeah, going back, and mate, he was a great man, old Dump.
Mate, those chairs, I sat in one, and as I sat in one of those chairs, it creaked and groaned because I'm a big unit, and I sat in it, and it creaked. And I got up. Rex Hunt came in. He goes, "G'day, mate." I said, "G'day, how are you?" And he's bigger than me. He's a big guy. He sits in this chair. He sits in this chair, and he walked in. Rex sat in this chair, and it blew up into a million different small splinters. And he's landed on his bum, and all this timber's all over, thousands of dollars. And I'm so embarrassed. I'm thinking, oh my God, there's Rex on the ground. I had no idea what happened, right? So I quickly bailed out of the office, and all I could hear was yelling going on in the background. Your next adventures, where are you heading to, mate? And when can people see, of course, Escape with ET?
I guess, our season 27 is going to be a bit more like a YouTube show, more than a television show, although we'll be still running on Network 10 right across the year. We've got pretty much episodes every weekend. They're repeating at the moment from last series 26, but Series 27's due to kick off in April next year, so a little bit later start for us, but we're definitely looking to get some really good adventure destinations and fish under our belt. Our first trips leave next Wednesday, and we head up to the southern part of the Whitsundays. So we're doing a whole range of things on the islands out there. There's a big group of islands, the Percy Islands, there's High Peak Island, a whole range. There's probably 20 or 30 islands up there that you could visit and fish around. So we're going to go up there on a bit of an adventure and see what we can come up with. Obviously, all the great Queensland fish like coral trout and red emperors and nanny guy and all those are up there available. In the creeks, there'll be usually you can get some beautiful finger mark, and we love those. The black dew are there as well. There'll be mangrove jack. So a whole range of sort of estuary species, as well as some fish off the islands, will kick us off for season 27.
Mate, I look forward to seeing it, buddy, and I appreciate your time there, mate. And when you're coming through the Goldie, give us a hoy. Love to take you out there and maybe reflect on some garfish fishing. I've got a spot there where I know they're as big as your elbow, and they're not bad.
They're not bad eating, but they're fantastic.
No, they're not bad eating, and they're not bad mackerel bait when you're heading further north as well. So, mate, look forward to catching up with you again, buddy, and really appreciate your time. Thanks very much for that, mate.
No worries. You have a good one. See ya.
You too. Thanks very much, mate.